Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What is the single most you'll understand it when you're older thing? Friendships fading away. I remember my dad telling me all kinds of cool stories about things him and his friends did in the past. I even asked him, why aren't you still friends with these people? He really did basically say it's complicated, you'll understand when you're older. Even back then I remember thinking, that's crazy, me and my friends will always be friends. Sitting here now in my early 30s and it really hits home. Losing best friends is the hardest. It's definitely like a breakup IMO. It hurts your heart but in a different way. My heart still really aches to this day how my best friend became my ex-best friend. Edit, thank you to who gave me the silver. It's a first. Really glad I'm not alone in BF heartaches. Edit to edit, your stories and sharing, I wanna reply to all of them and give you all big hugs. I'm a huge empath and I've been tearing up and crying because I feel for every one of you. Thank you for hugs and silver, but I wish I could give you all real hugs and silver in return. You all just grow up and move away. As much as we hate social media, I'm happy it exists because I can easily contact my old friends. This is why I love social media. At least once a week, I'll message or text an old friend to do a quick catch-up. The conversations really aren't substantial, how are you? Anything new? Type of conversation, but it's still nice to talk with them. Not everybody is going to like you, even if you're a good person. This one really set my mind free once I took it to heart. I actually like when people at work, for example, or act like they hate you when they haven't even had a conversation with you. When someone does like you, you don't need to worry about what they think or feel anymore. Fuck 'em. Less energy spent. Conversely, not everyone you like will be a good person. Had to learn that the hard way. Yeah. It wasn't until recently that I realized I was projecting my good qualities onto toxic people and was in turn being taken advantage of by them. The quiet, boring, simple times are the best. Everyone's fed, happy, healthy, chill, napping. These are the good times. Very true. If the door is closed, you should always knock. I have seen your name, and I don't even wanna know why you made this comment. He clearly opened a laundry room door without knocking and got a blowjob. Doesn't want us to get the same. Selfish bastard. Sleep is no punishment, it's a gift. Yup, I used to dislike nap times when I was in kindergarten. Now that I'm older, I wish I could take a nap here and there during my work days. Money. There was a reason that you didn't get those shoes, the PS5, a new shiny car, etc. Maintaining a home and keeping the family fed is fucking expensive. The whole buying a home thing blew me away. I didn't realize how much money there was in upkeep on a home. I've lived in my home for 3 years now and had to replace the roof, furnace, and washer all together costing close to 10 Kelvin. Just living. A while back people on Reddit were giving me shit for keeping 15 Kelvin in a savings account. 2 months ago I drained that sucker with a bill from the IRS, car repair, and hospital bill. Shit happens fast. King Triton, Ariel's dad was right. She was just a child and she was not in love with the random prince she saw for all of 30 seconds. Honestly, this is a great example of what's wrong with parent-child interactions. Because when we were kids, we did agree with Ariel. We were persuaded by her emotions and saw her desires as our own. As adults, we have a fully developed brain, hopefully, and more life experience, and therefore we aren't convinced by the ephemeral, but intense emotions, that kids/teenagers have. But rather than validating Ariel's feelings, interests, and desires, Triton's basically like, you're wrong for feeling that way, and also I'm going to destroy your room. Which actually happens. Parents actually do that and are then surprised when the kid turns to the only validating adult in the room, who just might be a soul-stealing witch. I really like revisiting media as an adult, not only to see how my sympathies have changed, but also to make sure that I'm not the adult who is perpetuating the conflict by not listening. Because as an adult, I expect better from myself. Edit, well, just got back from my D&D campaign to find that this exploded. Thank you, kind strangers, for the gold and various awards. Not only did it make me smile uncontrollably, but I think it highlights an important point for all of us, there is power is listening. And this is why my dad watched every single kids show and movie with me. Not only did we stop to talk about different points of view, but it allowed my dad to first-hand see what I thought /related to while watching these movies. Honestly, knowing that my dad don't agree with Triton either made me way more comfortable to come talk to him about other stuff later, since I knew he was going to act like that. 15/10 recommend actually watching shit with your kid and not just putting the TV on and walking away. Time wasting time, and how time flies. It's mid-December and I'm saying to myself, what the heck, it's been 9 months of COVID and I can't believe this year is almost over. As you age it seems to go faster and faster. When I was younger I felt like time just dragged on some days. I can remember when I was school age, the year seemed to drag on forever, then when it did end we had the 6 weeks holidays. 6 whole weeks. With hour upon hour of sunshine, towards the end of it school was but a distant memory. It felt like it would never end. Of course it always did when September finally arrived. Now I work at a school and it's terrifying how quickly we blaze through each term. Those same holidays are over in a flash. I think it's because now I'm older I'm consciously worried about making the most of the time off, not wasting it. When I was young the biggest worry was whether my friends and I would play in the woods or on the fell that day. Time wasn't a worry, we thought we had all the time in the world. Literally getting older. Never thought much about when adults would say you're still young, just enjoy it. I always wanted to be older because I was tired of HS, wanted to be out of college, etc. Now I want aging to slow down a bit. My great-grandmother used to warn us that time speeds up when you're older. By gum, I think she's right. Edit, get a load of these comments. I swear there is more toilet paper here than there's been since COVID. I distinctly remember telling my grandmother as I approached my 9th birthday that I wished I could skip this birthday and go straight to 10, because 10 years is a whole decade and how cool is that? She told me I shouldn't wish my life away, and that I would go quicker than I thought. I remember thinking, well, it's been pretty slow so far. I'm 24 now and, she was right. The thing that is the worst about getting older is seeing your parents and other loved ones age and eventually pass away. When you're a kid, even a high school age kid, you assume these people will just be around forever and things will always stay the same as they were. It makes it easier to be disrespectful and generally take them for granted. I'm now 35, and this year was the first where I started noticing physical limitations with my dad especially, and that was hard. They're minor for now, but it's only going to get worse. The biggest blow to me is realizing I likely have less than 20 years left with my parents. Losing that constant source of love and support will be hard to take. They've been a rock my entire life. To add to this, when you're a kid everyone who is already old just continues to be old. It's like nothing really changes. As you start seeing middle-aged folk transition into the elderly, it's a real dose of reality. Why it's so annoying when you forget to take the chicken out of the freezer. I, too, will be ordering pizza tonight. But have you reached the phase of chicken is thawed but damn that still sounds like work, then order a pizza still. Edit, to everyone giving me cooking advice. I know how to cook a damn chicken. If you want to come cook me some, feel free. Otherwise, leave me to my grease pizza. When I was a kid my dad and I had a tradition every week of going to the video store and renting a movie or two to watch together. It was one of my favorite things to do, but I remember I used to get really upset at him because every single time we'd actually start to watch the movie he would fall asleep. It wasn't until I was older that I realized that the reason he would fall asleep was because he was exhausted from working 2 very physically demanding jobs to try and give me the best life he possibly could. On top of that, even though he was tired he still made an effort to try and start a little tradition with me and spend time with me. Those memories of me having to nudge my dad awake are so great in my eyes, because they made me realize what a caring and hard-working man he was and still is. Edit, just wanted to add that my dad and I have kept our tradition going in a way, by watching a movie together every month or so. We used to go to the theaters, but obviously COVID has complicated that, so we settle for just watching something together on the couch. We did manage to get a theater to ourselves for his birthday this year. Here is a selfie of the two of us outside of the theater. He still falls asleep sometimes but I don't mind at all, he deserves it. My dad would turn off my Yu-Gi-Oh episode and put on basketball. Send him to the Shadow Realm, no one interrupts a game of Duel Monsters. It is possible to do everything right and still fail. Don't let it consume you. Pick up the pieces and move on. I had to learn this after a project that I was on for 3 years was sabotaged and shissed. I did some amazing work, and poured my life into that project. In the end I had nothing to show for it. It put me in a real slump for a few years. I'm still trying to pull myself out of it without becoming a cynical and jaded asshole. Data learned this lesson from Captain Jean-Luc Picard. And so did I. Well. Thanks for my first awards. For people still wondering, the episode this occurs in is S2E21, Peak Performance. I actually learned a lot of life lessons from Star Trek.